Welcome to Tabletop Topics. I'm your host, Jeff.
And of course, Jeff, guys, if you want to catch and watch our ugly mugs on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and now YouTube Music. We also have our YouTube channel, one word, Tabletop Topics, our Triple T's Clips channel, and our TikTok. So if you click on the links, it'll take you directly to the episodes. And of course, we have timestamps so you can navigate throughout. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and of course, leave us a comment. Again, guys, thank you again for joining us at the tabletop. Let's jump right into it.
Yes, sir. Where's the other one? What's on the spooky schedule today, man?
Oh man. Well, I know. I just wanted to. We're going to talk about on today's Halloween month. We're going to be talking about the existential
dread
of horror.
Knowing that you're tiny, you're insignificant.
And that falls into the realm of a lot of things.
Everything.
Whether it be religious movies, cosmic movies, movies where you're not in control of the situation, because certain people, certain human beings feel like that they need control in their reality, and the reality is we don't control our lives as much as we want to. And when something existential happens or something huge happens, it's like, fuck, what do I do? Like, how do I beat this? How do I overcome this feat? How do I...
What's the first thought that goes through your head? Like, does it matter? Does anything matter at that point?
Nothing matters at that point, because it's like, this is beyond your scope of your human reality. Because
of even understanding
that, because they're above that, of course. Mm-hmm. So it's like, fuck, how do I overcome this? What do I need? What do I need to defeat this unbeatable force? This unknown thing, creature, being, universe, entity. It's like you're in a spacesuit in space and you can't grab onto anything. You just keep floating forever.
That's terrifying. Like the feeling of like what I would imagine space feels like, because there's no
no sound, weightlessness,
and
you're limited on air,
and there is no direction. There's no spatial direction.
The black void of death.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I believe they said the feeling of floating in space or being suspended in space is you feel upright in any direction. You don't feel like you're falling. You're not going left. You're not going right. You're not going up. You're not going down.
I feel it, man.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's really, I don't know. That's pretty spooky.
So do you have some examples of existential, not just horror, but an existential situation where you know it's out of your hands and uncontrollable, but you're trying to find a solution because you either want to overcome it or you're just like, fuck it, I can't do nothing, I'm gonna just die.
I'm just gonna die. I would probably say one example of that is just in any scenario in terms of first contact.
Yeah.
Extraterrestrials or even, extra dimensional entities. You know what I'm saying? And I would say spirits and shit like that fall into that category.
Yeah.
Because of course it's in a different dimension. There's like different laws of physics, things that don't seem like they fit within the mold of what your reality is. And even then, like, the scariest thing about even living in this reality is knowing that everything you see isn't what it is. Even in this reality, our mind is playing tricks on us.
Well, isn't like one of the theories, our brain just makes it so things can make sense to us, because if we actually saw what it was, we'd go insane.
Right. Our brain just interprets physics in terms of our senses. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, like, nothing can truly exist. You know what I'm saying? I think the biggest fear that would probably be in the back of some people's minds is just like your reality is localized. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as crazy as that sounds, like prime example, you only exist because I'm observing you.
Yeah.
The things you say, the things you do outside of my purview essentially aren't real. And only you know that they are real. And it's only personal to you. So like I could be sitting here talking to you. You know what I'm saying? But you hear a sound in the corner, you turn around, I cease to exist.
Because I'm not paying attention
Because
to you
you're
at
not
that moment.
observing.
Yeah. So it's like being able to hear a voice but not knowing where it's coming from.
It's coming from.
Yeah. So essentially it's a ghost.
Right. You see what I'm saying? And I could use that as an example in terms of I can use that in terms of like, you know, even with aberrations, you know, like with ghosts and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they could allow themselves to be seen.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We essentially don't have a choice. What we see is what we see. You see what I'm saying? But like,
yeah, just like the painting story that we were talking about last Tuesday.
Right.
Where we can see it, but what can we do about it?
Right.
Unless we figure out what.
And I think a lot of things that goes through people's head is it's like when faced with something like that, they always believe they know what they will do, or how they will react, or how they will respond.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But that's only based on the realm of what you believe is malleable in your reality, which you're able to manipulate.
Yeah.
Even if it seems impossible, right? Like prime example, I could say I'm gonna be president one day. In all reality and all possibilities, that's slim to fucking none. But I still exist in a reality where it is possible.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
You can form scenarios in your brain.
It's like Jet Li in The One.
Right. If you can form scenarios in your brain, I wouldn't consider that an existential horror or a dread. It's something that escapes, that's outside of your understanding of reality. Something that just truly doesn't make sense. You see what I'm saying? Like, prime example, what was it? Was it Contact? Where she went into the...
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And...
where essentially God left her humanity a machine to build, and then once they built the machine, it took them about 5 years. She went in, her dad passed away during that time. She was building the machine because she was so focused on it. And then during that time, she got into the machine, went through it, and it just fell right through. Nothing happened.
Right. It just went static for like 2 seconds.
2 seconds, yep.
And then she came back.
Yep.
But when she went through, her entire experience was because they actually sent recording devices.
Yeah.
So the recording device recorded for what, 20 minutes?
No, 2 hours.
2 hours. Recorded 2 hours of an experience. But she just came through and came back through the portal.
They're like nothing happened.
Like nothing happened.
Nothing happened. But for some reason, she experienced the other side. Just it's like letting people know.
Vic, how's it going, bro?
What's going on, Vic? It's like letting people know. It's like back in the day when God spoke through His people to let them know to let the regular people know that He exists.
Right.
So He would choose one person, show them my power, so you can know they exist. And in modern times, that's kind of what it was. He gave them technology to show them, since they were losing faith and hope because they just believed in science, that I still am. So gave them the machine, gave her the experience. She saw her father, all that stuff like that. And then she went on to tell the world. Because then they're like, oh, how do we know you weren't just hallucinating? Well, how do you explain the 2 hours of footage?
Right. Right. Exactly.
So clearly I went somewhere and then I came back.
Right. It's like that whole example of where it's like, and I think if we ended up finding out that everything we're observing is just an extension of the fourth dimension, like this is a bigger object that exists in the fourth dimension. You see what I'm saying? Like this is a bigger object that exists in the fourth dimension. It's That fake spider crawling across your shiny ass forehead for me. Hey, it's not my fault. My skin's
Oh,
fucking.
he doesn't like spiders.
My skin's glistening.
He
Way
doesn't
when
like
you
spiders.
hear.
I'm giving one of your weaknesses away.
Oh, his spiders. Oh,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, he hates them.
Oh man, we gonna mail him a box of daddy long legs. Oh man.
But go ahead.
But yeah, it's just like that example where it's like, you ever seen the back rooms?
Yes. Hell no. I might. You're
You see what I'm saying?
like they said, the levels are infinite, and even if
It's like an infinite space, right?
yeah, it's an infinite space. Then the levels are infinite, and even if you escape level 1 and make it to level 2, it's endless.
infinite. It's endless.
So it's like, how
Right.
long can I survive in the back rooms? Or are you gonna pull a Robin Williams and Jumanji and try to survive until you're an adult? But it's like, are you gonna learn the back rooms, or are you overcome them? You can't even kill the monster. It's
You
like
can't.
whatever
Right.
this
It's
creature
just
is.
running away.
Yeah, exactly.
It exists outside of what the realm of possibility of what
Exactly.
you think you can handle
Exactly.
in this space.
So it's like, if you ever accidentally discover a door to a back room, don't walk in it.
no clipping.
Exactly.
But that's the thing.
like-
I always assumed like the back rooms was just like an extra dimensional space, like
Yeah.
a fourth dimensional space.
And that's what it
You
is.
see what I'm saying? Vic says that'll be the day everybody Dougie plays Terminator music. That's crazy.
Oh, man.
He say he gonna shoot everything, boy.
This man.
He said everybody Dougie Terminator music plays. I'm dead. But like that's how I kind of look at it, right? Like on that scale, where it's just like you're just used to the mundaneness of everything.
Yeah, so when you see something out of the ordinary, your brain wants to just understand what it is.
Right.
So, I can give you a perfect example is The Ritual, the movie that came out.
It was what, 4 friends, right?
4 friends. It was originally supposed to be 5, but one of them died because one of them was a bitch. Yeah. So, he ended up dying in a robbery.
Oh,
so,
man.
and in order to commemorate his memory, they decided to go to Switzerland. So, it was Switzerland.
I think it was Switzerland.
All right. So they decided to go to Switzerland, and they decided to commemorate, because they were supposed to.
It was a camping trip.
Yeah, it was like a camping trip. So they're just trying to honor their friend that died from the liquor store robbery by taking the hike to the mountains and then putting his picture up, leaving the specific items, and then walking back. But of course, one of the buddies hurt his leg. Long story short, they ended up taking a shortcut, and then it leads.
Shortcut.
Yeah. When they say fucking take shortcuts, don't fucking take shortcuts.
Don't think it's not a shortcut.
This is how you survive. I'm telling you this as a black person, as a colored person. When they say take shortcuts, you take the long way.
If it was a shortcut, they would have called it a path.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it would have just been on the trail.
Exactly.
You know
So
what I'm saying? What the fuck?
So in the movie The Ritual, which came out 2017, so that was like way before the pandemic even started. So they decided to take the shortcut, and then something was following them and hunting them in the woods. They didn't even know what it was.
Or
Turned out to be one of Loki's bastard children that he had.
what's it called? The Yule?
The Junior. Yeah, something like that. I don't know, bro.
Oh no, I'm not even.
Bro.
I'm not even gonna try to. What the fuck?
What is it?
You sure it wasn't the Yule or some shit like that?
What's it called? Loki's children for deities, Native American, Swedish abilities. Moldar. It's called Moldar.
Seriously? No way. That shit ain't called Moldar.
Yeah, Moldar, or Loki's bastard children, right there.
Oh wow, it really is called Moldar.
It's called Moldar. So, and it would grant people immortality, but it wasn't really immortality. So, but if it chose you, it would leave like 5, holes in your chest.
In your chest. It would mark you.
And then, it would mark you, and if you weren't marked, it would slowly sacrifice you onto the trees. So, just to give the example, as one of the friends, he kept finding reasons to say whatever you saw is not real.
As he tried to rationalize.
He tried to rationalize everything. He was the first one that ended up dying.
Oh, that's
but
tough.
what I'm trying to get at that point is he tries to rationalize everything because his brain doesn't understand what it is, because that's something out of the realm of humanity. It exists.
It exists.
But he couldn't comprehend it, so he
tried to science everything away.
Exactly.
And that's tough, because it's like we always bring a lot of these scenarios, these conversations with rational, logical, mathematical people. And their answer is always, well, there's probably a reason for it behind it. It's like, bro, sometimes there are just things you cannot explain away. You see what I'm saying? Like, there are things that happen in the world, in the universe, in reality, that you just can't just, explain it away.
How did Spock say it with the time travel thing? If it's not probable...
If it's popsicle, it's possible.
No.
You what?
No, nigga, not that. Shit. No.
Go ahead. What did he say?
He said something in the if it's not probable, then it's probably possible. Then it must be the truth, or something like that.
If it's probable, it's possible, and it must be the truth.
Something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what it's like. So it's like, throw all rationale out. If you're like, you saw something and you're like, you don't believe it exists, then that means it's what you're seeing is actually true. It's not something fake or something that you're freaking out about. It's something that you can obviously see. And it's like, I get it, your brain's not rationalizing it right now, but you need to understand that it's either survive or die.
Right. That's facts.
So I wouldn't be in that situation in the first place. I would have left all y'all asses.
In my mind, if that thing exists, you know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, it exists. Like, I'm seeing this.
Yeah,
thing.
like, what else can you do?
Like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, one, okay, this thing exists. Not, there has to be an explanation for it. It's probably some moose or some
light reflecting off the sun that's making my eyes.
Trees and,
I've been in the woods for a couple of days, so I haven't gotten my vitamin D, and then blah blah blah, making me see visions and the bullshit that they always give you.
I can't hang out with motherfuckers like that, bro.
No,
it's like,
man.
yo, if I see something crazy, like, don't fucking try to explain it away. Yeah, just run.
Yeah,
get the fuck out.
Well, no, I wouldn't be in the
just
situation in the first place.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh yeah, I don't want to walk 14 hours on this leg. You ended up walking 4 days on the leg.
4 days
and then you died. So it's like,
and then died.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, the path that you could have taken, or have taken, is it taken? Have taken. The path that you've taken, that was only 14 hours, you could have made it back safe.
Right.
But you chose to take the shortcut.
Oof.
That ended up being 4 days, and then you die at the end. What does that tell you?
Ooh, and that man suffered, bro, because he was the one who was the most scared out of everybody.
Yeah, he was.
Whole thing.
The other one just
didn't even want. One guy rationalized it. The guy who fucked up his knee just didn't even want to talk about it.
Vic is stupid.
Every single time they brought some shit up, he would just be like, "Shut the fuck up! Don't even talk about it. Don't say nothing."
Just not
ignoring it,
does not
rationalizing it. Like, bruh. Hold on. So Vic says, that's that one friend you sacrifice immediately. Secondly, I'm black. I'm not putting myself in this situation.
Exactly. You see, you already know the rules.
And then recognize none of them ever have guns.
Yeah, well, they went overseas. They
went overseas. Like, it's a lot of bullshit you gotta kind of.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of extra shit.
You don't go into situations like that saying there's gonna be
you don't go into
a
these
Nordic
scenarios,
god,
right?
A Nordic deity,
god, a Nordic deity
that's gonna be in the woods sacrificing you so it can be eternally mortal.
But you see, like, prime example, not to pick on you, Vic, but you see, Vic tries to rationalize how he's gonna survive this situation by saying, "I'm gonna bring guns."
Yes.
This is outside the realm of reality.
Guns are
Gun is a thing you can conceptualize.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
I'm talking about horrors outside of what should actually exist, which is why it's such a human thing. I'm just gonna shoot at it.
Because look, that's what happened.
Right.
The last guy that survived, that was supposed to be the one to worship it.
Right.
Found World War II guns. He was using it, and it did nothing.
nothing.
The creature Mordor just looked at it and it started running towards it.
Right.
Because it did nothing.
Like, guns is
Fire,
not the solution.
fire didn't do anything.
Fire didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
You leave my Nordic gods alone.
Hey, they're going to sacrifice you, my guy.
Bro, they trying to send you to Valhalla.
Yep.
And I'm talking about the Valhalla from what was it?
Ooh, from what do you call it? Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga.
Nah, nobody wants
Yeah,
that.
that's not the Hall of Champions.
Nah.
Boy, what the heck?
So, but no, man. I think that's the biggest issue. It's the rationalization of trying to understand
the unknown.
And it's like, all right, I realize I can't do nothing, and it's the same thing. It's like the only reason why. Perfect example, when Doctor Who takes a companion with him to wherever in the universe, the only reason why they stay with him is because he looks human. But if they saw something that they couldn't understand, they would not stay with him.
Would not stay.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, when I see this alien or this mutated creature, it's like, fuck, this is real. But it's like, then he belittles them to make them understand you're overreacting.
Vic says, Gloria Valhalla, you gotta die with your sword or gun, then you're good. It's an honorable death.
I wouldn't say all that.
I don't know about that Vinland Saga Valhalla. I don't know. That didn't look too fun.
Fighting for eternity?
Bruh. Them motherfuckers was getting slaughtered. And then they just came back to life to die again infinitely. Over and over and over and over again. But, all right, Vic. All right, man. You go out there, we'll see how that works.
Nah, you can go out there alone.
You go out there, Vic.
Nah, you can go out there alone. I ain't going with you. I'm not that guy.
Oh, man.
The safe path.
I feel that.
I'll walk my 14 hours.
I'm taking the long path.
Yep.
It's called me being extremely paranoid, not me trying to rationalize it. I'm too old to die. No, I feel that. Boy, you hear that in the distance? Getting closer. That's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy.
No, I feel it.
That's when I start running.
I feel it.
That's when I start running.
No, I know you were talking about another existential situations where, you know how we're always talking about we're the aliens and then we advance.
Right.
Would you like to jump into that? Cause
yeah, what was it called? Something Tomorrows? All Tomorrows.
All Tomorrows.
All Tomorrows.
Yeah, it's a book, right?
Right. It was written back in 2008. Yeah,
because I know you're more informed on that.
5-part series and stuff like that. You can find a condensed version on YouTube where they kind of give you, just the basics of what's really happening. But it's like it follows the storyline of humanity and how we continue to advance, and then we finally colonize Mars. And then what was it? It was in 1 million year intervals,
yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
So we colonized Mars in the early 21st, 22nd century. And then over time, Martian humans essentially start breaking away from us genetically. And they start becoming their own type of extraterrestrial race. Vic says, hell yeah, that shit finna be lit. I get to brutally murk people all day, every day with my sword. Well, you do understand, you are also on the receiving end, too. All the greatest warriors are down there, too.
Yeah, so it's not going to be easy.
Like, what if they jump you, bro?
That's it.
What if you sent them to Valhalla and they come and jump you, bro?
And it's a repeat.
For eternity.
Yeah, it's a repeat death.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
But, yeah, so over a million years, humanity branches off genetically and they become Martians, right? So, in that process, they essentially want to declare their own independence from Earth's humanity.
It was like an anime that we were watching, too.
Was it?
Yeah, I remember when they were fighting each other and they didn't know that they were humans.
Oh, Majestic Prince. That was crazy. Yeah. Nah, that's a crazy anime. That's a crazy anime. Right, because when they ended up finding out, so they genetically... All right, it's tangent. So there's this anime called Majestic Prince. So pretty much it deals with a future human civilization, human society on Earth that is at war with an intergalactic civilization. And this intergalactic civilization can travel space-time like in the blink of an eye. And when the first invasion, the first wave of this intergalactic civilization happened on Earth, they wiped out 98% of humanity. And then the rest of humanity essentially consolidated themselves on like a small territory and began genetically modifying themselves to essentially combat these aliens. And developed highly advanced weapons by stealing their technology. So fast forward, the 6 chosen fighters, the 6 chosen New Age soldiers, are sent into battle, and they come back and have like wonderful results. Like they're keeping up with this intergalactic force, right? And essentially, let's just say by the end of it, they realize. So they end up capturing one of these intergalactic aliens, and they start running tests on this alien. And then they find out that these aliens have the same DNA as the genetically modified people they sent to go fight them.
So essentially they found out that they were fighting themselves.
They're fighting themselves.
And they
I truly believe that's what it is. And that's essentially the timeline all tomorrows follow. Vic says, so be it. I get to do what I've been telling y'all for a while. No prisoners, no mercy, glory of Allah for the Empire.
He's gonna do it.
Vic's gonna be repping.
He's gonna destroy
all the ancient warriors.
Oh man.
That's
nuts.
I love it.
That's nuts.
So
man.
pretty much that premise is in line with what All Tomorrows is. And it's essentially like there's this almost godlike alien race called the Q that preside over all space-time. And they pretty much play God with
essentially creating life.
Right, creating life. So let's get back. So pretty much Mars and Earth essentially finally start waging war so Mars can gain their independence. And then Mars ends up gaining their independence. And humanity continues to proliferate around the galaxy as independent colonies, independent races. Daily Nutrition. Yes, sir, Jimmy. What's up, bro?
What's up, Jimmy?
How you doing, man? How you doing, bro? Welcome. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Appreciate you stopping by, man.
Yes, sir.
And pretty much, so they proliferate. Humanity proliferates throughout all of the galaxy, and over time, you know how there's like over a certain amount of time, history is lost.
Yes.
No matter how hard you try to, that's just the natural state of the universe. Nothing will ever be preserved, no matter how advanced your computers get or da-da-da. So humanity starts proliferating throughout the galaxies. Hundreds of millions of years pass. Different
species.
Not species. Different societies of humanity come to fruition, and humanity forms this little miniature
They essentially
empire.
evolve.
Right. They become this mini empire. But what's looming over them is the Q, these godlike alien species. And I remember in one part, the humans end up landing on another planet, and they end up discovering dinosaur bones. And these dinosaur bones are to the T exactly like our dinosaur bones.
Our dinosaur bones. Yeah.
And in their mind, they're like, this doesn't make sense.
How is this possible?
How is this possible? So, in that instant, they realize there's something out there. There's something out there that's planting life.
In different planets.
We're not the first ones to discover this planet. So we need to prepare for what this thing is. Because it put dinosaurs on this planet, and it traveled hundreds of millions of light years to put dinosaurs on our planet.
Yep.
And we're just reaching this stage of, faster than light travel, FTL. You know what I'm saying? So they warn a lot of the other human empire members and stuff, like, hey, there's something out there. We need to prepare for it. It's coming. So the Q get word of this, and they decide, you know, we're going to invade everything. Yes, we're going to invade everything. We're going to invade all the planets you colonized, everything. You know what I'm saying? So they wage war on the human empire of the Milky Way or whatever.
Of course, they're superior.
And of course, they're superior because they're godlike.
They're godlike beings, yeah.
They're godlike beings. They're the Q. And after the first Great Galactic War, humanity put up a great fight, but they lose.
Mm-hmm.
The Q are gods.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Humans lose. And as punishment, the Q essentially go to every single human outpost, human planet, and start genetically morphing the humans, humanity, into these strange things,
shapes.
Creatures, shapes. There was one example where he turned an entire race of human descendants into literal
cubes,
bricks. Yeah. Like, imagine Tetris bricks. Mm-hmm. They reformed all living beings on that planet into bricks and built mega structures out of them. Yep. And they were still conscious, still sentient. They
still alive.
And still alive.
Yep.
And still alive.
That was basically their punishment.
That was their punishment for going up against, or for resisting, the Q, or the gods.
The gods, yeah.
And what's even worse is their job as these building blocks, these organic building blocks, was to dispose of Q waste.
Shit.
Excrement.
Yep.
So their job was
to eat it.
Yep. To eat shit.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy. Mm-mm. So not only are you a building block, so it's like if I got you and I squished you into a brick, and I squished every human into a brick, and then I built skyscrapers out of it. But you're still alive.
And you're still alive, yep.
You're still alive. You still have your consciousness. And after the Q finished playing with this civilization, they got bored. And one day just left. They just left. And all these sentient building
are still
there. Just there. For hundreds of millions of years.
Yep.
They can't die. They can't live. They can't move. Could you imagine that?
It's like the Titans built the wall.
Mm-hmm. And Jimmy, it's a book, and it's you can do an audiobook. I believe it's a 4 or 5 part series. It's called All Tomorrows. All Tomorrows.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Very interesting. I love it.
Kind of gives you the perspective of where the human race heads beyond us, and how we genetically modify ourselves to be different.
It's like a full circle of how our own hubris.
It's like how we're always saying we are the aliens.
Right.
So it's like, perfect example is like we were talking about Alien and Predator. They all have the human DNA genome in it. So it's like it doesn't matter how far they got.
But even then, like the human genome, all of that came from, what do you call them? What do they call them? The architects?
Spell it. I love the audiobooks.
The architects?
Yeah.
Is that what they call them?
That's what they call them.
The architects. Right. It was the architects that essentially sowed the seed for human life. Mm-hmm. And aliens and face huggers and predators and stuff like that.
At least they're living rent free.
All Tomorrows. So ALL, and then not yesterday, but tomorrow. And then, yeah. So All Tomorrows. Audiobooks. Vic, at least they're living rent free. That's crazy. That's bro. They are the building.
Yeah,
they are the building themselves. That's
but essentially, like you said, they were just created to eat to clean up the excrements of said higher beings. So they weren't being used for anything else.
Nothing else. They were just tools. Oh, for sure, absolutely. I'll send you the link. Most definitely. Yeah, so it's just like and I won't, because it's such a long story.
Yeah, but essentially that's what we're trying to lead to with the whole existential part of it, and not being able to.
It's like this entire time we're fighting to preserve ourselves when the enemy is ourselves.
Exactly.
And we don't even realize that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's full circle with everything. You know what I'm saying? That's it's such a, it's like a cosmic mirror where it's like we are a reflection of the entire universe.
Well, it's like
what I'm saying?
if everybody were to pay attention to like science wholeheartedly and understand the how
But that's the thing.
our galaxy is hurtling towards the singularity, then they'd be freaking the fuck out. But
Oh, the Great Attractor.
the Great Attractor, and it's like if everybody knew what the Great Attractor was, or where it is, or how close are we to it,
No
or
one
anything.
knows what the
But no
Great
one knows.
Attractor is. Crazy.
All they know is just everything is going towards it.
Right.
So
Everything is moving.
everything is moving.
Everything
towards
in our local group. Hundreds of quintillions of galaxies. Like if you were to zoom out on a universal scale, and you were to observe the galactic filaments. So they're essentially like little hair-like structures that essentially permeate throughout the entire universe, or yeah, I guess I could say the universe because I don't know how to scale that up to the size of what.
You're only scaling it to
Right,
what your brain knows.
right, of what how big a galactic filament is.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's just we exist in a solar system, in a galaxy, in a group of galaxies, in a local group, in a cluster of multiple clusters known as a local group, in a supercluster of galactic filaments, all leading towards the Great Attractor. And the Great Attractor is this giant mass. Like if you were to take a screenshot or make a map of how far we can observe in our universe,
The observable universe.
and you were to look at it, you would see that quintillions of galaxies all spanning out like little hairs, little filaments that expand out. And near the center, so where all these filaments converge, there's this giant mass. But only a portion of this mass is visible on the map of the universe. So we have no idea where all these filaments are leading towards. But within one of these filaments is our supercluster, is our local group, is our galaxy,
Yep.
is our solar system, is our planet. And everything, our galaxy and every galaxy around it is hurtling towards
The Great Collider.
the Great Attractor. And we don't know why, because that is the direction everything is moving.
But that's the thing too. That would be an existential thing if people were to pay attention to it, but they don't, or they're not aware of it.
But how? How do you?
No, I'm not.
Right.
I'm just throwing that as
Right.
an example. I'm not saying that's even if we knew, if there's nothing we can do about it, which again brings it to the existential part of it, because it's like, fuck, I can't do anything about it. I can't get on a ship and go that way because the galaxy just the universe just keeps expanding. So
Right.
it's like I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
So
right. Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
so
like,
it's like
that whole expansion of the universe.
yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
So it's like that's why we're trying to figure out how to bend space.
The universe is expanding faster than the speed of light.
Exactly. So
Woo.
it's like you're literally going in. You're in the same spot. You ain't moving nowhere.
Right.
So it stretches, and you're still in the same.
Even
spot.
at max speed, like speed of light. Speed of light. Right? You're trying to get to, I don't know, a system that's what, 30 light years away, right?
Yeah.
So essentially it would take you 30 years to get there, but at the speed of light. But the universe is expanding faster than the speed of light.
No, I feel it.
You see what I'm saying? So it really wouldn't take you 30 years. And the reason why is because you would have to bend space
And if
while
you-
traveling at the speed of light.
And if you can do that, then you'll be able to reach it.
Mhm.
So bend it, reach
So
it, and
bend
then unbend
space
it.
at the rate space is expanding. So now you have like an equilibrium of the rate space expands versus the rate you're contracting space while traveling at the speed of light. Which is why they always talk about warp drives and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. That's why warp drives are a lot more feasible than just faster than light travel. Because to travel the speed of light, you need to be either infinitely heavy or infinite mass or no mass at all.
At all. I feel it.
You see what I'm saying? Infinite mass. So be a black hole or be a photon. That's it. There's no in between.
That's what the warp drive is.
Right, right. That's it. There's no in between. Be a black hole or be a photon.
Mm.
It's the only way. It's the only way. But it just goes into like shit like that, where it's just like there's just things we will never understand.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we could wake up every day and not really think about it. But it's like you said, what Spock said, if it's probable, it's possible, that means it's true.
That means it should be the truth.
It should be the truth. Huh.
Hold on. Let me get
Yeah,
it correct.
yeah. Get that right. Let's get that right. Is there like one? Ooh, what movie did we just recently go see? The Gifter,
The Creator.
The Creator. Like that's another thing that kind of makes you really question. Vic says, "Yo, I highly recommend you watch Fatal Affair. That movie is good as fuck. Also, if you haven't watched Slasher, it's a show on Netflix. Word, absolutely." Absolutely. We're trying to get like a horror movie binge going this whole month. Trying to get a horror movie binge going this whole month. So what do you say?
I'm not finding it.
Did you just quote something though? Jimmy says it's crazy we lose so much infinite knowledge due to languages and ancient texts not being able to decode theirs as a whole underground library with millions of books that is only 5% decoded. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, because there's like what is it? There's like breaks. Like there's if you look at the history of humanity or just civilization in general, there's literally whole breaks in the transfer of knowledge, the transfer of generational knowledge that's lost due to some cataclysmic event.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or like a world, like think about it, right?
Library of Alexandria.
World War I, World War II. How many things do you think how much history do you think was obliterated in that time?
Oh, fuck ton.
You see what I'm saying?
They only tell you the winning side.
Right.
But if we were to get an education from a different country, they tell us something else.
The reason why we find it so hard to believe certain things is because we're the ones like preventing ourselves from retaining this knowledge.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I truly believe we'd be so far ahead in science and in literature and just languages. Mm-hmm. We could have had a universal language without even speaking.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah, it's just a mirror. It's just a cosmic mirror. That's the only way I could simplify it. Like, we're our own makers and destroyers, to be honest. And that's where it's like the whole hubris of humanity. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like, no matter how far we get, we always believe, because, I feel like we take that whole we were made in his image literally to heart.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
So like, if this is what if this is what I look like, then that means this is what God looks like.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just that the hubris of, oh, we could be gods.
Yeah.
Let's.
And I think that's what it is.
Right.
They're like, if he made me like this, then this must be what he looks like, so therefore I can reach his level.
And I have his knowledge.
I don't have his
life. I have his knowledge.
Knowledge, exactly.
I don't have his knowledge. I have the potential to obtain all his knowledge. In the cosmos. So I don't know. I just it is the curse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of fits what the curse was after we ate the apple.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So,
or whatever fruit it was. I got the quote. So it says, when you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Logical.
Right. Because somewhere in the universe, the probability is 100%.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
So as crazy as it sounds, time travel, that doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah. Well.
Right. It kind of brought up that whole, what we were talking about, closer to the truth.
Yep.
How there's, extra features to reality, which is spatial, temporal, and causal, so
Causal.
causality.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They give a great example, especially of time travel. We can never travel back in time
Nope. Only forward.
because causality only permits time to travel forward.
Yep.
Because to travel back in time, you have to have your own independent time going against the broader timeline of the timeline. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, what time is it inside your time machine if you're going back 10 years?
Exactly.
Right. Causality doesn't work that way.
Nope. It only goes forward.
It only goes forward. So if your time is moving forward while you're going back, that just, it does not compute.
Does not compute.
It doesn't compute. You know what I'm saying? So it's just stuff like that, which is why, like, yes, we can time travel, but only forward.
Yeah.
And so many people have...
And then back to the fixed point of where you started.
Back to the fixed point of where. So you can travel forward and to the point in
where
which
you
where you left.
Yes, because that's the point where you created the time machine.
Right. Which is why we don't see time travelers.
Yes.
Because it hasn't been created yet.
No.
When it's created, it will be then and now. Then at the moment. And then we travel to the future. And then back to where it was the moment it was created. But we can't go before. Because, like I said, reality, spatial, and temporal. Everything is a relationship. Something affected something through space-time, which gave you a specific result. You see what I'm saying? So if you go to a point in time where this thing doesn't exist,
then
there's nothing you can do about it. You see what I'm saying?
That's how I'm talking
Which is why when people accidentally travel back in time to dinosaurs, they can never go back to the future.
To the future, yep.
You see what I'm saying? So it's just things like that. It's just things like that. Spatial, temporal, and causal.
But what were you saying about the creator?
The creator, right? Yeah. You know, and it I love the whole AI thing. Like me, I don't care how advanced AI and robotics get. There's just something in me that would never accept it as an equal thing. Like, it will never be equal to me. You know what I'm saying? I could make a simulated companion, but at the end of the day, I know this shit isn't fucking real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you programmed it to cry. You know what I'm saying? Like...
Yeah, because we went to see The Creator on Sunday, and it was a very good movie. It's a different take. It wasn't woke.
No.
So that's a good thing.
It's realistic as fuck.
Yeah, it was realistic. We as the United States, we're pieces of shit. We kill everybody. That's a fact. It is what it is, man.
No, that's crazy.
I'm like, God damn, they just
crazy.
murdering people like it's nothing.
Crazy.
Meat. But
that was I like that kind of commentary.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. So human error
essentially causes it hurts humanity. So all right.
Without ruining it.
We put so much of our faith. Well, you could use this in every single AI scenario.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? We put so much faith in robotics and AI. We became super dependent on it. You know what I'm saying? But in the process of becoming super dependent on it, like, we made errors that we shouldn't have made. And we suffer the consequences.
Yes.
But you know humanity. It's never our fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not our fault. It's the robot's fault. You know what I'm saying? So the goal is to delete all robots. But not everyone agrees with that premise.
Nope.
So of course you're going to end up with two factions.
Yep.
And
going into each other's territories without giving a shit.
Without giving no borders. Absolutely.
Zero
There's
borders.
No sovereignty.
It's like if you get caught,
that was crazy.
If you get caught, you're arrested. But
that
other than that, if you don't, you get shot or you die.
Right.
Or you get out. So.
Right. Do you want to know why I will never accept a robot or AI?
Why?
Because deep down I know humans are naturally selfish. And that goes against all robot laws.
They're too agreeable.
Right.
Yeah.
They're too agreeable.
Well, yeah. Like the example in the movie where they're like, why couldn't you do this? And he's like, because it goes against our programming.
Our programming.
Yeah. So I feel it.
Right. No one's going to program, of course, evil people will, but like, they're still programmed to serve.
Yes.
That's the agreeableness in it.
The 3 laws of robotics.
Right. Whether it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's to go fight something or someone, you know, it's that agreeableness that it's willing to take orders.
Yeah.
And not judge or weigh the the morality of what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? It just wants to give you an answer that keeps you satisfied or that benefits you know what I'm saying? Or keeps it from being turned off or shut down or da-da-da.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of just gives it away. And that's why I can never... Because it's like you're just programmed to agree with me. No matter how
good or bad
the situation is. You're just programmed to agree with me. I don't care if you can cry and this and that and blah, blah, blah and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because even in the end, right? What was their main goal? Peace.
Yeah.
Come on.
What would you say?
You think humanity wants peace?
Would you say that would be the existential for in the film for like the United States, where they're like, we have to destroy all of them because even if we did find what they were looking for and then they did receive peace, you think that would be it, or do you believe that the robots would continue, the AIs would continue to try to seek more than just that? Because they're like, you've destroyed plenty of us, you've done this, you've done that. So would you think that would be something that they would go for? Because the uneasy feeling of when are they going to retaliate is...
Well, here's the thing. One thing that was not present in the movie, I'm going to get to your comment real quick, Jimmy. One thing that wasn't present in the movie was a super intelligence. Something that was thinking beyond humanity's capabilities.
What about the kid?
That wasn't a super intelligent. That was still the byproduct of a human brain.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
There was no super intelligent
So
that separated itself. Right. There were still flaws. You see what I'm saying? That separated itself
Human
from the rest of
programming.
humanity. Right. It was human programming. Jimmy says we probably wiped ourselves out in every period of time, and some tribal tribe in the jungle away from humans are where we are descendants from. I believe it. I can believe that. But I think one of the biggest, and we'll wrap it up soon. But I think ultimately all of this is happening in the year 2146. That's not that far off, bro. And the scale of humanity, that's not that far off. We still learning about fucking Columbus from 1492. That's not that far off.
He murdered millions.
That's not that far off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or Indigenous Day, as they changed it to, because they knew he murdered millions.
Like, if you're telling me slavery lasted for 300 years, that's not that far off.
No, it's not. On top of that, we keep creating technology that's making us live longer and longer and longer.
Right.
Keep playing. Watch yourself live to the 2100s.
That's what I'm saying. We're, what, 70, almost 70, just over 70 years from 2100?
Yep.
That's not that far off. There's a lot of kids being born today that's going to live to 2146. Yeah. Absolutely. And, of course, you know, humanity, like, we advance our technology exponentially. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to look at it in terms of, like, time scale. The scale of time. But I think truly, at the end of the day, the biggest existential threat to humanity is peace. Peace. We're afraid of peace.
Yep.
We can't achieve peace.
No.
It's a scary concept for us. It's a scary concept for us. Because we can't conceptualize what peace looks like. Extended peace.
Why do you think there's so much war that's going on
without
right now?
conflict?
Yeah.
Without conflict. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Like, a perfect example I could give you is in certain films where you have that one old general that just wants to start a war because he cannot...
He feels useless.
He feels useless. He cannot withstand this peaceful time.
He feels dated.
So what does he do? Exactly.
And through war, we find meaning. Through conflict, we find meaning. You see what I'm saying? Like, if there's no conflict, even as simple as an argument, I'm trying to assert my will and convince you of my ideals or my beliefs.
We're going to do them ourselves.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not in our blood. It's not even in our souls to be peaceful.
I mean, the entire Bible was nothing but war.
Right. Right. Every piece of history is tragedy.
Tragedy,
Think
slaughter.
of all types of stories that exist
in
humanity.
Yep.
It's conflict.
Yep.
So how do we know what real peace looks like?
We don't.
We don't. Yeah, you know.
Because we are the embodiment of chaos.
Exactly. Fuck. How the fuck do we know what peace looks like?
We don't.
You can say, oh, well, it was peaceful and the crime rate wasn't as high as... Okay, but somewhere else in the world there was some shit happening.
Yeah. Look what's happening now.
You can't go a whole decade without a war happening.
Yeah.
So how can you tell me, oh yeah, we need peace? How?
Mm-hmm.
How? How do you calm the human ego, the complex? You see what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's just crazy. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
So existential, crisis, horror, the unknown. It's kind of a segment that we wanted to talk about in the month of Halloween because it's like, yeah, we can come up with these plans and scenarios with horror films and situations that we can avoid in the human realm.
And let me add something real quick.
Yeah.
And I believe that's because we always put ourselves at the center of what situation is happening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We always think, oh,
I can control it.
I can control it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control shit. You just react to everything.
Yes.
You just react to everything. And depending on the probability, depending on how you respond to the situation, the probability of you being successful or living is slim to none. So Vic says, I'll be dead. I don't care what the fuck my offspring
like I
is
said,
gotta do.
Time, man. We're living longer than we expected. Technology.
Right. Okay. But what if I just threw this crazy scenario, right? What if aliens just come down and say, yeah, we're going to make all y'all immortal and enslave you? What do you do then, Vic?
Exactly.
What do you do then, Vic? Like, you have to conceptualize things outside of what you think is rational, what makes sense. You see what I'm saying? It's more than here now. Like, I'm this person and this is how the universe acts on me. Mm-hmm. Something crazy could just happen tomorrow. And
yeah, for sure.
You're immortal and now you're a slave.
What is
and then he says, oh, okay. And then he says, when everyone that I'm enemies with are dead, then there's peace.
No.
Yeah, that's never going to end.
Yeah.
That's never going to end.
Jimmy.
Jimmy says, it is universally ingrained in our DNA not to be peaceful. The universe was created from chaos.
Chaos, exactly.
Not peace.
Not
That's
peace.
facts. Vic says, reasons why I need to take over the world.
This nigga is...
You what?
Bro, I got to.
You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but no. That's what I would say. I would say that that's just a segment
Vic
that
says we've been slaves for over 400 years. We've all seen Independence Day. We go all out.
yeah, that's because we stole alien technology. But other than that, that's different.
Right.
But no, like I said, essentially, I would say that would be like a just not knowing the unknown is what scares a lot of people, and it's like we'll continue to try to rationalize it, try to figure a way to overcome it, whether it be with religious text, whether it be with relics, whether it be with witchcraft, all that stuff like that. But it's like when you reach
technology,
but it's like when you reach a point where you're not understanding what it is, whether it be cosmic being, aliens, angels, or demons, whatever you want to believe in, it's out of our realm. You look at Jason or Freddy or Chucky or any of these things, you can plan out how you can kill them. You might essentially die in the process, but that's more controllable than something that is way beyond
that doesn't apply
human
to
understanding.
Your physics, your space, your time. It doesn't care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like what we said way at the beginning of last year. It's like you're not walking up to an ant pile and trying to learn everything about them.
Mm-mm.
You know, and
they're just gonna attack you because
what's your name or blah blah blah.
Yeah,
You accidentally kick an ant pile, right? And it took those ants a week to build that pile, but how long does an ant live? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you just destroyed like 90% of that ant's life work, and to you it's nothing. You didn't even notice it. You just stepped on an ant pile. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we are that ant pile to something else.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't even believe we're worthy for it to even show itself to us. It could literally be just passing by our solar system and accidentally wipe out every planet.
Oh, I accidentally bumped into you.
Yeah. Sorry, I just knocked your planet into the sun on my way to the next fucking galactic supercluster. For no reason. And to us were like, oh man, God is here. Nope. It's just a ultra advanced, you know, hyper-dimensional fucking, you know, being that's just passing by.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
So
like,
we never know.
You never know.
Yeah. So.
You never know. But I'll let you take us home, brother.
All right, guys. I appreciate you for showing up for our live. And thank you again for joining us at the tabletop. If you want to catch and watch our ugly mugs on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and now YouTube Music. We also have our YouTube channel, one word, Tabletop Topics, our Triple T's Clips channel, and our TikTok. So if you click on the links, it'll take you directly to the episodes. And of course, we have timestamps so you can navigate throughout. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and of course, leave us a comment. Again, guys, thank you again for joining us at the tabletop. You have a good night, weekend, evening, and day, and we'll see you on Thursday.
See ya, see ya.